This session specifically, we will be talking about the operational guidelines related to the industrial IoT security, and we will be letting you know about some of the platforms and the tools available from the Siemens technologies related to the implementations of the operational guidelines uh, and the platforms related to the implementations of the security for industrial IoT from Siemens. So as you know that with the focus on the industry 4.0 related to the manufacturing industry and the services also, there is a lots of buzz around industrial IoT is there. So once we are implementing the industrial IoT, lots of components and the actors come into it, and there is a inductions of the lots of third party tools are also there. So it remains and it becomes very much important to talk and to implement the security related to the plant thereafter your main offices, and if you are providing the remote access, because in the implementations of industry 4.0, if you see, so it starts from the customer end to it goes to the plant where everyone is a connected, is in a connected environment, and the data is seamlessly been transformed from the one layer to another, and it is a two-way communication that happens between the lower levels of the implementers and to the top level of the business managers and the operational level of the managers. So if this is the scenario of the communication is, so it becomes very important for the increased reliability and the security of the architecture what you implement for the industry 4.0. And beneath this is the industrial IoT is there. So this is the session that sort I'm taking related to the operational industrial IoT security is, and we will be talking about the guidelines is, and how do we take care of and how to plan the security related to the industrial IoT in this session. And the next part of this session will be on to the technical guidelines so of this the industrial IoT security. So before starting the session, hope you have my introduction, and uh, perhaps so you have been attending the previous masterclass series also. Hope, hope you have attended previous masterclass series also. You can write through yes. So this is the IoT security masterclass series. This is an annual series. So every month, every first weekend of the month is having the IoT security masterclass, where we touch the topics of the various domains. So previously it has been related to the okay. So previously it has been related to the application level of a security, then the IoT security architecture, then hardware level IoT security, thereafter the automotive security. So all these things we have touched on. So I will be giving you the link and you can go through our YouTube channel, and you can get a playback of the sessions also on the what we have covered previously in the IoT security. This session is throughout the year, and if you attend these sessions, so at the end of these masterclass series, you will have the certifications also from our side. And IoT security masterclass. Thereafter, we have the EV masterclass series also going on. So that's on each third weekend on each Sunday. Earlier, it used to be have on Saturdays, but due to the a request from the participants, it has been transformed to the Sundays. And on the second weekend, we have the sensor series that's going on. And on the fourth of the weekend, it is the design thinking and embedded systems. So we have a full series of the master classes on each of your weekend, and to let you know about the latest happenings into this industry that is happening. So you can attend the other sessions also if as per your requirement. And this is the one time registration is required. So once you have registered, so you will be keep getting the links throughout the for it. So I'm just starting the session now. New participants are joining in. So hope new participants who have joined in. I hope I'm audible to you, everyone. Okay, so let's start the session now. This was the brief introduction. So this is the session on the operational designs related to the industrial IoT security. How many of you are aware about the implementations and the architecture of the Industry 4.0? Any answers? What are the actors into this Industry 4.0 implementations? Can anyone tell me about the brief? Maybe he can just, or you can unmute yourself and talk to me. Who are the actors in the Industry 4.0 implementations? What is the tools, platforms, and technologies that has been used? Okay, so Industrial 4.0 has AI, cloud, automations. Okay, so for data analytics and the learnings, we have these AI algorithms, and cloud is the thing where we have the data storage. Big data is used for the storage and the analysis. So actually what this Industry 4.0 is that it is the German term actually, and in this we are talking about earlier the smart concept of the smart factories, where the factory, the manufacturing plant will produce the product as per the requirement of the user without changing its own assembly line. So that's what the first thing is related to the Industry 4.0. And second thing is that it adds up the horizontal and the vertical processes. So it doesn't remain only the product, but on top of each of the product, there are the services. And through those services, the connect of the product is always there. So it directly connects the customer to the plant, and as per that, the continuously the diagnostics, the kind of revenue generations, the kind of information processing and sharing that keeps happening between the a plant and the customer. So it requires the implementations of the things like the physical objects that get modeled into this. So for that, we have the sensors, and to communicate over the network, we have the architecture of this industrial IoT in the implementations of Industry 4.0. So that's what, if you see towards the implementations level or towards the definitions levels, it is synonymous to the IoT. But in terms of the implementations and the reliability and the availability of the network, that's what the and the implementations towards the industrial uses, the IoT, and that's where the little difference that comes in. So once we are talking about the industrial IoT, it is very important to talk about the reliability and availability of the network. And that's why security is a very important phenomena that adds up when we talk about the industrial IoT. Is into the design, consultancy, and training in the domains of embedded systems, IoT, electric vehicles, embedded AI, automotive electronics, and all. We have these services for enterprises and institutions, and we work in the domain of the consultancy, training, and we have in-house R&D in these domains working. And we have the supports for the industries, the MSMEs, the academia, and the colleges and all towards the lab setups and the training purposes. So that's what introduction about the organization. Now starting the session. So as I was talking about this industrial IoT security. So what, as it was the term, the industrial IoT, and what is the protection goals and the value that requires related to the industrial IoT. So this industrial IoT is actually been required and been used for the plants specifically. earlier the IoT and industrial IoT and industry 4.0 is only been talked related to the manufacturing plants, but nowadays lots of service things have been added into this. And if you want to great good description on the how the industrial IoT, how the industry 4.0 is, and what is the role of industrial IoT into the implementations of industry 4.0. So I will share you the link of our YouTube channel where you can have a complete, we have a complete webinar series on the industry 4.0. You can go through the same and can learn about it. So what is the protection goals related to the industrial security is the three things. First, it is the availability. Second, it is the integrity. And third, it is your confidentiality. So that's three operational requirements are there. And it is making your available. So availability is the thing that will keep your plant available 24/7 for the purpose for which it has been working, and reducing the interfaces from the attacks and the malwares. Because if it is the IoT, so there is a lots of attack that will keep happening, and you have to give an interface so that these attacks should not occur on your things. And is respective to the electronics and the IoT thing, if I talk about, so we don't have the very big computers and the big processing machines into the plant. We have the a microcontroller based running systems. So though they don't have enough memory capabilities to store the antivirus software, so we have to design something in architecture so that the machines will remain safe from any kind of attack, and it will remain available to the particular users for which it has been working. So that's what the first operational requirement is. Second is the integrity of the data. So like customer is sending some data to the plant of his requirements, like plant is gathering some data from the phone of from your mobile phone for the diagnostic purposes. So maybe your home is having the IoT product from any of the company, and that product is collecting some diagnostic data from your home for the purpose of enhancement of the product, or maybe to give you some informations over a time period in an efficient manner. So if the data is traveling between these two ports, so it has to be free from the malfunctionings and the hackings and all. So that's what the data integrity is, the second operational requirement. And third is the confidential protection of the confidential data. So any IP is concerned, any of the hardware IP or a software IP is concerned. So that's what needs protected, and it has to be confident enough. So that's what the confidentiality is required. So and so to provide all these three operational availability, integrity, and confidentiality, we plan the risk analysis plans, and through the risk mitigations, we do the kind of solutions to all these things. So it starts from this industrial security risk starts what are the risks, and how you can provide a resilience to this. So if it is an unprotected business, so it is the lots of people and asset are exposed to the risks. So if you are not implementing any kind of a security aspect into your industry 4.0 implementation, so everyone is exposed to the risks that may adhere to the user of the system or the machines which is unconnected. So either it is the RPA systems, whether it is the cobots, anything that is connected, that will be at a risk. Thereafter, it starts from the physical damage to it goes up to the intellectual property damages, like a physical damage, like some of the machines could start behaving bad if it's get controlled from the outside. Two, if someone has barged into your IP, so maybe he can just change the IP of your any of your software or the hardware layer, and your machine will start sending data to some other port, or maybe it starts behaving in some other way that may lose the efficiency of your plant. So it becomes the vulnerability, and then it leads to the cost, reputations, and the liability. That's here it doesn't seem a big liable thing, but if it is a big plant working and some of the part has been held up due to this uh, uh, security risks, so you can think of that how much sabotage could happen to this. So what leads to the secure business into the secure operations of it, that you have to provide all the three terms which we have discussed, and that will give the more sustainable and uh, faster business operations, and will increase the uptime of your plant also, and that will be increasing the trust with the customers and your shareholders. That's what it is. So if we are doing this thing, if we are implementing the security into the industrial IoT, so what are the risks that might involve into it? So first thing is that what are the problems if you are not implementing it? So what are the problems that can occur? So as it will occur related machines, it will occur related to your IPs, it will occur related to your sabotage to the production plants, manipulations of data, unauthorized uses, and the access of your system, and anything can happen related to this. So we have to avoid all these things. And second is why this happen. So why this industrial security, why there is a problem happens in the industrial security, that the foremost reason is the integrations of the horizontal and the vertical processes. So as it is the industrial IoT is concerned, so there are the two things. Your product doesn't remain only a product, it becomes, there is a service layer is added into it. So for an example, just take a watch, example of a watch. So that watch you wear, like it is from Titan or from any other company which you wear, which doesn't have any kind of an interface. There is a no network interface. It is just a normal watch, and you just use it for the viewing the times, and maybe some setting of the alarms. It has no interface. It is just a product. But so there is a no chance of insecurity into this. Only the thing that it can create a sabotage, that if the time setting is not proper, so that might be a reason of bad hardware or bad settings of the clock, or might be some mischiefs also. But just think of an Apple Watch, which we are using not only for the timing, but also there are the services added into it related to your personal calendars, related to the weather, related to the lots of other things which Apple want you to see. So you subscribe to those services, and based on what the product becomes unique for you. So that watch, in that watch, apart from the hardware things, there is a software layer, is that the service layer and the software layer is also been added. So if these two layers have got amalgamated, so then it becomes an increased risk of exposures, like the exposure can happen through the software ends, or might the exposure can happen through the hardware ends also. So it is possible that if it is an IoT hardware, so it is possible to bars the security from the IoT hardware side also. So how the IoT hardware security is vulnerable. So how hardware is vulnerable related to the IoT security. This we have discussed earlier in the hardware IoT security hardware masterclass. So that there it is discussed, and it is the software is there. So the interfaces are there, the open interfaces are there, and through which one can barge into your system. The second is the open standards and PC based system. So as we are talking about the industrial IoT, so it has the both things. It has the PC based desktop software or softwares also for the analytics and for the control of the plant, and we have the microcontroller based systems also for the operations and for the low level implementations. Now what happens that in your PC you can do n number of safety measures. You have the lots of operating system management concepts and the antivirus softwares, and the things that you can do, encryptions, the high level of encryptions that you can do, because you have the gigabytes of RAM available, you have the a good quality processors available. But the same thing is not available with the machines where microcontrollers are concerned. We have a very limited amount of a RAM in MBs maximum. If you are using ARM, and if it is a 8-bit microcontroller, so then only you will have the bytes, like the RAM is available in some bytes only. So you cannot run big encryption techniques, or you cannot install any other software over there. Second, your processing capacity. If we are talking about the microcontroller, so there is a no good processing capacity. It is the control thing that happens with the microcontroller. So maybe NPUs are used, the microprocessors are used, but those MPUs are also very less capable not to handle the big security concept. So that's why the standards are being designed for giving the open architecture for the information communication over the IoT network. And that's why the implementation of the IoT security architecture is also needed, so that the plants and the analytics softwares and the desktops all would be running seamlessly from the one to other end. Now, if I say that, is there a standard concept for the implementation of the IoT security or any of the security? So there is a no. It is an evolving thing. As much as the security you will do today, it requires a continuous evaluation of the security. And maybe today you have closed certain some of the insecure points. Maybe if, after auditing of a week, maybe you will find some more points open and you need to close about it. So there are the guidelines are there, there are the certification standards are there, but security is not a one-time job. It has to be continuously into the system, and that's why it is called a secured life cycle. So you must have read about the software development life cycles, or any system development like life cycles, the SDLCs you must have learned about. So here the security is an integrated factor into this SDLC, and it becomes a secured software development life cycle in that case. So where continuously the risk analysis and the implementations are going on. So it starts from the individual risks. So it starts from the single customer that can be a threat to the complete network, to the machines that it is which is implemented for the operational purposes, to the broad level of the cloud implementations and the office network. So anyone, any of the actor into this network can be a risk for the security. So that's why the security measures are required for all of them. And the standard for this security is mentioned under this IEC guideline. So you can get a reading onto this. The IEC 62443 is the a worldwide standard for the industrial IoT security is, which contains about the informations and the security concerns related to all of the actors. So it is from the component level, where we require a secure product development life cycle, to the system level, where we have the assessments of the risks of a security related to the system. Thereafter, it requires the implementations of the policies and the procedures for the security requirements, and then it is the general terminology. So it has the four components, and these four components keeps on the definitions and the policy matrices. Thereafter, what the processes that we have to follow. So these all are the processes that has been defined in this IC guideline. And then it is the requirement. So functional requirements and the functional safety, these two things are there. It is related to the plant and the automation. So the this comes under it. And who are the role providers into this? So it is the actually it is the multiple vendor system. Whenever you are implementing industrial IoT, so there is a multiple vendor system is. So maybe company A is giving you the gateways, company B is giving some of the machines, company C is giving some packaging machine, company D is giving some binding machines. So there are the various different product vendors are there. And if it is the industry 4.0 implementation you are maintaining, where all of these machines are getting to be connected, so a open standard has to be followed, and that's why the integration and configuration of security becomes challenging in that case. The second is the integrator. So they have a very big role over here, because the system integrators take the job of integration of all the machines into the architecture of the plant, and then it is the operator. So these three people have the roles decided as per this IC guidelines, and this is for the operational guidelines. That's what is. So to do this, what are the, so once we have assessed about the security threats and what are the things that you have to uh, secure about, so you have to do a defense in depth. That's the a term that is. So starting from the plant level to the system level, the security that we have to cover. So these three things needs to be covered while we are talking about the industrial security. And these three terms are as per the requirements, the functional requirements and the operational requirements of the industrial plant security based on 6243443. So if related to it is the plant security, it starts with the physical security of your plant. So barge prohibiting the unauthorized entries to the plants through the physical means, and then it is the monitoring of the plant. So physical monitoring. So plant security is related to the physical monitorings and all the things, access protections and monitorings. Thereafter, it comes the network security. So this network security is related to the industrial IoT specifically, because the implementations of industrial IoT network and the these there are the various networks that we use, like LoRa network we use, or Sigfox, or generic Wi-Fi we use, or it is the GSM network. So there are the lots of network that we use. So the network security comes into the place, and then in that it starts from the to the cloud level it goes. So at the desktop level you have the analytics softwares running and the control software running for the management of the plant, to the cloud level where we keep the storage of the data, and the data remains available throughout to the plant throughout 24 by 7. There we have the various mechanisms of the cell protections and cell. So there are the multiple blocks of the network that has been designed, so that if any of the block is down, so it won't affect the other blocks working. And then it is the normal network security that you implement through the firewalls and the VPNs. So this is the network security that is required. And then it comes the complete system integrity, which requires the detections of the systems, the system hardening, the detections of the attacks, thereafter providing the authentications and accesses to the authorized people only. So if it is the remote access is there, so then have to authorize the remote access. If it is a customer entry is there into the system, so to providing the access to the people who are authorized for what. And then if there is a kind of a multiple vendor mechanism, the integration is required. So if a patch needs to be implemented, so that patch management job is also being done under the system integrity. So these three things are the part of the complete industrial security concepts, which we will be discussing now. And and it starts with, so these three things are, and it starts with the complete man, and this starts with the analysis of the risk, and completely it is covered under the security management process. So this is a 4-step process which we follow for the operational security of any of the industrial IoT implemented plant is. So it is a major form of your any of the industrial security concept. It starts with the first, you analyze about your risks, what is involved. Those risks might be from the hardware end, from the software end, from the network end, from the integrity of the data, from the system or your customers or your role players, so anywhere. So you have to analyze the risks, and their risks are also categorized into the 3 levels, like the smaller risk, thereafter the medium risks and the high risk. And these are dependent on the criticality, like high risks. If the high risks, if I don't mitigate about the high risks, so that might stop functioning the complete plant. So this is how the risk analysis is done. Thereafter, based on the analysis, make the policies and the measures for the organizations to behave on. So a secure policy that we make on, and then the technical measures that we follow. So if there is an implementations of the requirement of an implementations of the technical perspective, so that's what the technical measures that we take, and then it is the validation. So it is a 4-step life cycle we follow for the security management. And it is the dependent on the this complete definition is dependent on the hazards and risks that you identify for your plant. And this is a continuous process, and regularly it has been followed, and the countermeasures are there, which reduce the risks of the up to the acceptance level. So might be it is not possible that completely remove the risk. So from high to medium, of the shifting of risks from high to medium or to low, that might be also sufficient for the thing. If you are not able to completely remove any of the risks, then you need to do the category changes of the risks. So because there are the multiple role players are connected in the system, and maybe completely barging from the access to any of the services can lead to disqualification of the particular user from the system. So in that case, what we have to do, that we have to reduce his high risk to the medium and to the low level. So, and whatever your product or a system and a process, all these things are should be adherence. So should be following all the policies that you make for the implementations of the operational security of your industrial IoT network. And this risk analysis, so first it is the risk analysis I was talking about. So this is the first and foremost thing to determine about your security measure. So as I have told you that we have the level of a risks. So this is the starting from the very low to very high risks. And then you have the 2 categories of risks are, so it is the acceptance risk, unacceptable risk, or acceptable risks. Like for an example, there are certain threats you have identified that if even if it is there in the system, that won't cause a much issue. Like it might be related to some authentications errors, or might be related to some access levels. So that's what might be acceptable risks. And this is related, this might be related to the higher level of the plant operators or the management. But if any of the risk that is related to the any third party, or a new user to the system who doesn't have to work with the day-to-day activities and the maybe the operations of the plant, and then he has got some access, so that might pose a very big threat to your system. So that's why these are the unacceptable category of risks are. So you have to identify while you are planning the IoT security architecture for your industrial plant. So in that case, you need to analyze about your threats, that what are the threats are there. You have to analyze about the potential of them. Thereafter, what are the weak threats, and the weak point analysis is there. So is the threat of a higher risk nature or a lower risk nature, and what are the points the threat can make your system weaker where it can attack. So that's what the identification is there. And based on the existing security measures, so till now what you have implemented, based on what are the measures and what are the level of a threat is there, and then you plan ahead out of it. So this complete risk analysis is starting from the identifications of the threats. It goes up to the assessment of the threat completely. And the identified and unacceptable risks must be ruled out or reduced by applying compensating measures. So the two things are, if you are either you completely remove the risk thing, so you apply a complete countermeasure of a security, or if you are not being able to apply the complete countermeasure, then you have to reduce the risk. So maybe if it is very high, you need to make it to medium or a low, so that it will not it will come into the acceptable risk category. Now what the term that which I have used is defense in depth. So there are the two types of security that we try to implement, and mostly we will follow, see that it is like just a user id and user id and password system that has been followed, or maybe some authentication mechanism it just been followed, and that's what is enough. But what it that the ID and password, that's not a big a security thing. So anyone can barge into it, anyone can break the ID password security. So this is just a single defense layer that we are creating for our system. So wall layer is a single defense layer in your protections. So that is never be accepted in the industrial plant security. So you have to make a multiple layers of the security, so that anyhow the attacker comes to your system, so he has to invest the time to break the security, and his effort should be so high that the thing that he wants to get will be lesser compared to that. Like for an example, if I have to just break any system, and there is a chance of getting maybe $1,000 out of it, but if the cost which I am applying to break the security is gone $10,000, so then there won't be any of the chance that I will break the security. So you make the layers of a security so much into the partitions and into so much high, that the cost of breaking of the network will become so higher that the data which he will get is almost nothing compared to the cost. So that's what is, because completely stopping from anyone into barging into your network is never a possible thing, because you are a man, you have some level of a brain, and you are implementing the security. Maybe someone else who has a higher level of a thought process might barge into it. So it is not possible to completely stop anyone from barging. So that's why this defense in depth method is applied, where we have the multiple layers of a security. So this, how this defense in depth architecture works. So specifically for the automated plants, so in our automated plant, we have the in the lower layer, we have the plant network working on, and there we apply the three things. We have the IP in the plant, so know-how, that is the intellectual property is. So that's what you need to keep. That's what the important things that you have to keep. Thereafter, it is the plant, so always the plant should remain available, and then it is the safety of the data. So these three things are related to the plant network and for what you need to apply the security. Thereafter, this plant will be connected through two of the means, either through your head office. So then again, you have a secured layer between your office network to the plant. And if nowadays what is happening, that lots of remote access is happening, as the plants are being operated through work from home architecture. So it is a remote access that you provide. So again, there is a secured layer that you need to provide. It is not an open internet communication that happens between your plant and the workstation computers. So completely it covers under the plant security. And for normal office and IT network security, we have the methods for the firewalls and the proxy servers. All the things are there, but beneath them you need to make, because beneath here in the office network, we have the standard computers and the servers, which covers under the information security, information technology security. And interestingly, the IoT security is not only related to the a security for the IoT, means in the Internet of Things, or the things related to the microcontroller, but in the IoT security, all the component comes of the IT, information technology, the embedded system security, hardware security, and software security. So everything comes into the purview of IoT security nowadays, because the IoT devices are becoming and becoming part of your complete of the network. So from here, from the for the plant level, we have this specific, this defense in depth mechanism that we need to apply, and for what we need to make the user management's policies and the softwares maybe. So if it is at the top layer, so you can implement the softwares and whitelisting softwares and the antiviruses, but beneath of them, you need to harden your network, and you have to make a mechanism so that your IP protections will be there, and so any of the IP could not be hacked into and could not be altered out. Thereafter, it is the access protections that you need to provide as integrity data and manipulations. So the plant security is mainly related to the physical access of your, so it was the architecture, and in this architecture we have the plant security, then it is the network security, and then it comes the validation. So as from here, yes. So plant security, network security, then it is the system integrity, and then it is the validation term comes in. So architecture after, so it is the plant security that we need to first. So it is related to the uh, uh, physical security. So physical accesses are uh, no no provisions of giving the unauthorized access to the premises or the buildings, or the people cannot do the physical damage to the production equipment. So it is more related to the physical monitorings, and for that we have the measures for the authorized access mechanisms, or these or the personal security guards, or the machines, or the camera applications. So these are the different things that you can take as a measure for the plant level of a security. And here we have the combinations of the manual processes to follow for the operations of your plant, and giving a secured environment. And secondly, you will be providing some mechanisms through which the access will be identified, and only the authorized access could be given through the machine. So you have the flap kits, you have the ID card mechanisms, and everything for the security of your plant. Then it comes the design of the network level of a security. So that's what for the secure network design for your automation. So in this, this is the mid layer of it. So as you have uh, given the plant level of a security, then you have these office networks, the remote access, and then it is the cloud, it is here, then you have these servers, then you have the internet lines, so VPN tunnel, everything is that comes under the network level of a security. So here there is the some solutions which I have talked to, that I will be talking about the Siemens solutions here, because Siemens have the a very big solutions related to the industrial IoT implementations and the security. So here there are some solutions that Siemens provides, and that's what a very good solutions that you can try out also. So this is a Symantec and Scalens. These are the servers that it provides. Thereafter, for the remote access, it provides a Cinema. So this is for remote access. It provides this this port, and the So it gives secured access, so encryption between the production and the office environment. So this layer that is being created between the office, between the because in this network we have the office layer and then the plant layer, and we are enough concerned about the plant layer of a security because it is the hardwares over there, and the less resourceful machines are there, means the control operators for the machines are not having that much amount of resources to implement the direct security which you are able to implement into the office networks. So there the architecture is planned for giving the secured access from the office network to your plant network. Thereafter, it is the cell protection concept is there. So what the cell protection concept is that we segment the production into the multiple protected cells. So there are the multiple blocks of the protection productions are being designed, and this is as per the flexibility of the plant is, and and any of the damage or the sabotage to one of the cell won't affect the another cell architecture. So that's how the segmentations are done. Then it is the secured remote control for services and maintenances. So as we are talking about the industry 4.0 and the industrial IoT, so there is a predictive maintenance thing is always been considered. So the machines which we implement into this industry 4.0 implementations have to be self-diagnostic and self call registering for the maintenances, and that's where the predictive maintenance comes in. So if the predictive maintenances are to be implemented, so there is a requirement of the secured authentication and connections of the maintenance team with the machines. So that's why their authentication and authorization is also required into this. And then it is the access protections of secured data transfer. So whatever the data that you are transferring between the plant to the office network to the user, and the vice versa, it has to be in a secured manner. So or whatever the data that you store in this cloud, so that also has to be secured enough. So these things come under your protection under the network security. And in this specifically, the two things: one, it is the uh, office network security, and for today's concern it is the remote connect that is much more important because of the pandemic. Most of the plants are running on its own, and it will happen in future also, because if it is industry 4.0, so the job is done by mostly by the cobots and the robotic process automations. So then there is a no usage of the more and more people into the plant. All the things will be are automated and interconnected to each other, where the efficiency of one machine will be sensed by the other, and based on that the production rate could be decided automatically. So in this industrial with the help of this industrial IoT, the self decision making machines that we are talking about. So to control all these things, we have the people who are remotely connected to the plant. So that's why there is a remote connect feature is there. And here we have the solution from the Siemens is in the name of this Cinema One, and then it is the CRSP, the Common Remote Service Platform. So for the control of the complete plant, this is a Cinema Remote Connect is there. And for the service networks, for service platforms, this CRSP platform is there. So in this Cinema, you can see the remote connect feature. We have the PC clients, and then it gets connected through the www, the World Wide Web, to the plant. So the connection is there, and then it gets through the means of the office network, it can connect to the factory and the plant. So it gives the from here to here, it will be a direct connection. And then when it comes into the factory network, so then there is a secured authentication layer is created, and then only you can get a access. If some of you have the direct access to the plants, it is also been configured. So then through the VPN tunnel, so then it is the authorization that has been provided through the VPN tunnel, and then you can connect to the plant. So that's what the thing. And then the access levels are also, like you can see here, some of the places you have got the access, and at the others it is the rejection that is being done, because for the machine 3 and machine 2 the access was given for the difference for like for machine 3 the VPN, and for machine 2 also the VPN client is created and respectively the accesses have been provided. But for machine 1 there is a no VPN is created and no access has been provided to this. So this is what could be configured onto this remote connect platform, and based on this the access is provided. Second is CRSP, and this platform is related to the complete starting from the customers to the OEM level. So it has all the role players where the maintenance engineers, whether it is the machine, so the third party vendors, the OEMs, the data centers, the customers, everyone can connect onto this platform, and it is be giving you the rights, based on the user rights you can access the things. And it is mainly related for the communication and information exchange on the top level of the managements, and for the reports and the maintenance purposes. Now, once it is related to the cloud communication, so whenever we are talking about the cloud, so it is the protocols like HTTP or MQTT, all these protocols are being used, but there is a requirement of a TLS, the Transport Layer Security Communication Protocol. So this is done from first, it is through the authentications of the devices. So giving the certificates, like we have the security certificates attached with whenever we are communicating to the cloud, and then it is the passwords mechanism that we follow. So whenever you connect to cloud, whenever you make any of the IoT application, you connect to the cloud, so you always have the provisioning being done, and for the provisioning you need the certificates. So that's what the authentications are being provided. Then it is the segmentations and cell protections are being done. So dividing the productions into the multiple cells and sharing the data of each of the cell to the multiple cloud networks. So here for this we have this server actually. So to manage this thing we have this semantic server. So this manages the job of this cell protection concepts and the network segmentation and uploading of the data to the cloud level. And then there is a gateway concept. So semantic cloud connect 7. So that's what I have told you. So this is the uh, uh, this is the job of this uh, gateway. This is the job of this gateway to efficiently communicate between the cloud level to the plant level and the office level. And then it comes related to the system. So where it is the integrity, that is the thing. So in case of a system level, we have to give the integrity of the data, whatever the data that is being generated and whatever the data that is being communicated, so that must be remain in the form in which it has been communicated, and it should remain enough secure. So, and it should not be giving any kind of unauthorized access and the configuration changes to the system. So for that we have the multiple hardwares like firewalls or wireless access protocols and authentications that you create. Thereafter, it is your HMI panels settings are there. So HMI panels are at the lower level in the plant where the machines are working. So their security and access protection to those HMI panels. And then it is the PLC and the embedded level of a security. So then it is the lower level of a security where the hardware, IoT hardware and software security comes into the place. And then it is your IP protection. So drives are there. So IP protection that is being concerned in the case of a system integrity. And for that, we have the Synumeric one. That's again a controller is there from the Siemens for this IoT security. And there are the multiple methods for the passwords that you can apply, or for the authentications you can apply. So this is the method that is being given through this device is Synumeric one. so in case of a system related to, integrity, what are the risks that we have that maybe using the unauthorized access, the device configuration could be changed or manipulated, unauthorized operational activities could happen, the device functionalities could be limited, or the uh, public files and the private files, there is a no difference that will remain between the public and the private files. So that's why this access control mechanisms are there for the integrity of the data. And then it is the implementations of the hardening of the ports and the automation, hardening of the ports and the measures that has been taken so that the risks of the targets could be reduced. Thereafter, you can keep doing the updates of the firmwares and the softwares on a regular basis, and this is on a fly. So the remote update that keeps happening to each of them, and that's what the most important thing is, to implement the secure development life cycle. So secure development life cycle is starting from the design, from the conceptualization of the product, and it will remain till the end of life of the product. And it might involve the encryptions methods, the access control methods, the preventions of the data being uploaded to the other servers, and scanning of the data by the other engines other than your servers, and uh, then the deletions of the outdated files which is not been in the use. And then at the end it comes the validations. So the validations are the auditing actually that is been done. So all the after the implementations of all the planned measures and security audits, so there are the practices that is being done. So there are the documentations that is being done, so that every time the audit could happen related to the operational safety of the a plant, and every time the risk is analyzed, and as per whatever the measures has been taken to mitigate that risk, that is documented, and based on uh, the solution that is being created, and it is documented. So this is the review and the mitigation plan that it's been offered. And so this is the comprehensive, for the comprehensive security solution from Siemens. It is the three things. It is starting consulting to the implementation to the optimization, it has been provided. So from the know-how of your IP protection to the access protections and user management to the firewall level, and it goes up to the system hardening. So it covers all the plant security, the network security, and the system integrity. And from where it does the security assessment to the scanning services to the industrial service consulting. Then it comes the awareness about the security, thereafter the implementations of the security measures, and then the optimizations and the mitigation plans that is being followed. So security is not just a question of a technical implementation. So that's why it is the first session related to the industrial IoT. I've talked about the operational thing. Then in my next of my session of this industrial IoT security, I will be talking about the technical parameters, means what you have to do in the firmware, and what is the architecture that you need to follow for implementation of this operational level of a security. Like we have seen that it is the network level of a security and system integrity level of a security that is much more of our concern related to the technical implementation. So in our next of the session, we will be looking at the things related to the secure boot features, the secure communication features, and secure communication from the device to the cloud level. So that's what the technical implementations we will be seeing in our next of it. And depending on the particular risks inherited in the automation systems, the appropriate organizational and technical measures must be taken. That's what is necessary part is. And the maximum of security could only be possible once you have involved all the parties. So there are the multiple actors, as I have told you. So starting from the customer to the third party vendors to the OEMs to the office people to your maintenance team to your system integrators. So there are a lot of actors are there, and all of those actors have to communicate with each other to implement the complete level of a security. And the industry automation provides products and systems as well as security services to comprehensive industrial security solutions for the customers. So this was it related to the implementations of the, this was it related to the concepts of the operational guidelines related to the industrial IoT security. And then it will come the technical guidelines in next month. I'm sharing you the